For information on AEW's recent signing and more, this is Wrestling Hub. My name is John, and you're watching the Wrestling Report. Before we get into the rest of the video, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Hub and turn on all notifications to stay up to date with everything in the world of pro wrestling. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Wrestling Hub Official and follow us on Twitter at Wrestling_Hub. Touching on the previously planned match between himself and the late Andre the Giant, The Undertaker told Sportskeeda, "The match that I wish I had that I never got the opportunity to is with Andre the Giant. That was always a dream of mine. Andre's health was really, when I got there, his health was already in decline with his back and his knees and everything. It was crazy. Tim White and I discussed it many times. It's funny. Andre told me early on, kid, one day, me and you. He had an idea. He had an angle that he wanted to do with me. Andre didn't like big guys, but he loved me for the little amount of time we got to spend together, and he wanted to do business with me. His health was just at a point where we couldn't do it." As the Young Bucks were shortly not listed as being executive vice presidents of All Elite Wrestling, that would be quickly changed on the official website. Now, the Bucks have addressed this with Nick Jackson posting this photo on Instagram, which reads, "Still the best, still hated, still the EVPs." With him taking time off from AEW commentating to heel, Jim Ross said this on his Grilling JR podcast regarding his health. "I'm pretty good. Had a busy week at the doctors and trying to get all of these little things taken care of. They're not little things if you let them go. So anyway, I'm getting better, I think. Still going to be off work for a few more weeks, and then we'll just move on and hopefully it'll work out. I had a long doctor's meeting yesterday, over 2 hours. You know how it goes. Getting old is the shit." Going over AEW's booking strategy for the recently signed Mariah May, Dave Meltzer explained on Wrestling Observer Radio the idea of this program, and I know a lot of people don't like the Mariah debut and everything like that, and obviously it may not work, but the idea of this Mariah program is to get Mariah to be a top star. I mean, it's not like they're bringing her in just to be a face like Willow Nightingale, you know what I mean, who should be a top star but isn't. But Mariah is there to be, look, Toni Storm should win the championship from Hikaru Shida, and I don't know how long she will hold it, but the idea is to get Mariah and Toni as a top feud in the women's division. Regarding a comeback to the world of professional wrestling, former WWE stars Nikki and Brie Garcia, formerly known as the Bella Twins, said this to ESPN. "I mean, we definitely miss the ring and we miss wrestling, and so we never say never. I feel like no wrestler can ever say that, and her and I are always like, we definitely feel like we have one last run in us wherever that leads us. There are so many great brands out there now. There's so many countries where you can go put on a good show. So we definitely have it in us. And yeah, so never say never. You will definitely see the Garcia twins probably back in action at some point," Brie said. "That's right," Nikki confirmed. Noting how the match against Kenny Omega came to be, AEW World Champion MJF told Sports Illustrated, "I wanted a match with Kenny Omega, the best in the world, in a pay-per-view main event, but on free television because I'm salt of the earth. That is the best match in Collision history and one of the best in AEW history. I couldn't be more grateful that Kenny gave me that opportunity." During that same interview, MJF said this about contract negotiations with AEW as his deal is set to expire on the 1st of January. "Tony Khan is definitely trying his hardest to keep me here. There are a lot of things about All Elite Wrestling that I like, but there's also a lot of things about WWE that I like. What I'm most interested in is money." Today, Ric Flair also praised the AEW World Champ, writing on X, "I met MJF last night. Oh my god, he has the gift. I'm honored to have met you. Looking forward to working with you and our relationship going forward. You've got a gift that so few have. You're special. For information regarding the lawsuit between WWE and Panini, Ringside News wrote, WWE has a lot of legal situations going right now, but the situation with Panini escalated quickly. Now, it appears that they may be nearing a resolution soon enough. The legal dispute between WWE and collectibles company Panini appears to be nearing resolution following mutual allegations of breach of their licensing contract. This lawsuit emerged subsequent to the signing of a 4-year agreement in March of 2022, permitting Panini to produce trading cards and stickers featuring WWE themes in exchange for royalty payments to WWE. Panini claimed that WWE wrongly attempted to terminate the contract and demanded $5,625,000 in outstanding royalty payments. In response, WWE lodged its own complaint, asserting it had validly terminated the contract due to Panini's alleged violations of the licensing agreement. WWE further contended that Panini was infringing on WWE's intellectual property rights by continuing to sell WWE products, as their website still featured cards for Bianca Belair, Dominic Mysterio, Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, and Seth Rollins. Court documents, as obtained by Paul Lesko, revealed that a letter sent to the court indicated that the lawsuit is on the verge of being resolved. The letter said, discussions between the parties and their counsel have resulted in an agreement in principle. The parties are in the process of formalizing that agreement in a signed writing. Potential big update in the Panini WWE lawsuit. In a letter to the court, the parties note that discussions between the parties and their counsel have resulted in an agreement in principle. The parties are in the process of memorializing that agreement in a signed writing. Reviewing the plans for the LWO and the feud between Rey Mysterio and Santos Escobar, Dave Meltzer noted on Wrestling Observer Radio, it's going to be group versus group. It's going to be Santos and some partners versus Rey with partners. I don't know what they're going to do with the LWO name, which side gets it. Maybe they're even going to feud over the name. I don't know. It's going to be a group versus group thing. Obviously, Carlito will be with Rey and Santos will be with Cruz del Toro and Joaquin Wilde, and I don't know where Zelina is going, and that's the situation there. On X, AEW President Tony Khan made this announcement yesterday, writing, AEW has agreed to terms with one of the world's best wrestlers, a pro who is known and respected by virtually every AEW fan. They'll come to LA to sign their contract this Saturday, November 18th on pay-per-view at Full Gear. Dave Meltzer said this on Wrestling Observer Radio about who this could be. It's funny because I've had 2 people tell me who it is, and they've told me 2 different names. I don't know if anyone really knows, and I think that's the situation we're in. I mean, there's 3 contenders that could come up, and one would be a disappointment, and the other 2 wouldn't be. Mercedes Mone, obviously. I mean, if Mercedes signs, I'd say that lives up to the billing. A lot of people, when Tony makes these announcements, they're disappointing people. So if he goes in there and it's Dolph Ziggler, which I don't think it can be, because I think that his non-compete isn't up yet. Ringside News added, it was noted that Mercedes Mone was in London for All In. She's already showed interest in AEW, and Tony Khan has spoken positively about her. Dolph Ziggler was released from WWE on September 21st, along with so many others from the roster. The show-off's non-compete clause likely won't be up until late December, so that may eliminate him unless he was able to get that non-compete clause canceled. Will Ospreay is another possibility for the big signing. He has made plenty of AEW appearances already, and it is widely known that his NJPW deal is running up soon. It was also noted that NJPW wouldn't stand in the way of any announcement that Will Ospreay is signing with AEW due to NJPW's relationship with AEW. Then again, Goldberg is also a free agent, but there wasn't a lot of weight given to the idea of the WWE Hall of Famer inking a deal with Tony Khan. Staying on the topic of Will Ospreay and where he might sign after he leaves New Japan Pro Wrestling, Dave Meltzer said this regarding the subject on Wrestling Observer Radio. WWE wants him, obviously. He's been negotiating through Barry Bloom. The basic gist is that Tony Khan does have the one thing that he can offer Will that WWE doesn't have. Money-wise, WWE can outbid him for money, I think. Maybe not if Tony really wants him. But the one thing that AEW can do is they've got Wembley and they've got a World Championship, and there's an easy, natural, great storyline. There's a million ways to get to it. And WWE will not make that offer, I don't think. They're not going to do Wembley this year. Well, maybe they will, but I don't think so. And moreover, I don't think that they can promise him a World Championship. They could if they really wanted him bad, they could, but Tony could do it much more easily because WWE probably has its ducks in a row and would consider him more unproven, whereas with AEW, I don't think that they would ever consider him unproven because of the success in Japan. In WWE, it's like if you don't have the success here in WWE, it doesn't count as much. That's why I'm saying that's the one ace up Tony's sleeve when it comes to Will Ospreay. And this was your pro wrestling news update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all later.